Hey all you addicts out there, welcome back to another addicted fishing tutorial. My name is Jordan Kanigian. Today we're sitting out here on the lake with you guys and we're going to show you how to set up one of the most traditional and most delicate ways to try to catch these trout in these stock ponds and lakes, and that's with mealworms. So stay tuned, we're going to go through the rod, reel, line setup, all the way to the bobber setup and go down to showing you how to put these grubby little worms right on the hook for you. Stay tuned, you guys are going to love today. What we're going to start with first, you guys, is your rod you're going to want to use. This is an Okuma Salilo ultralight rod. Works very well for this adaptation because it has a lot of flexibility and it casts very well with this light line and with this light setup. You're not going to be using a whole lot of weight on this setup because these mealworms don't necessarily need to be very far down in the water column. So what we have here is, this is rated for 4 to 10 pounds. You can go even lighter, kind of a 2 to 6 pound rod, whatever helps you cast best and has the most sensitivity. And it's also a lot of fun to fight these fish on this light rod. So I have this reeled with an Okuma Safina 250. That is about the perfect size for me able to put enough line on this rod to be able to cast and handle these fish that you're going to be catching with these mealworms. So lined up with about 10-pound fluorocarbon line. Fluorocarbon's nice because the fish don't see it quite as well, and it allows for have a little more stretch and a little more sensitivity with that light line and that light setup. So what we're going to go right into is we're going to set this thing right up in this mealworm presentation. What we're going to set it up on is a traditional fixed float bobber setup. What we have right here next to us is all the tools you're going to need. All you really need is your worms. These are great. They really offer just a really natural presentation. All the big nests and all the big piles of webs that you see on the side of the lake and the side of the river, those are all mealworm nests. So these are one of the more naturally occurring baits that you can find for any kind of trout, crappie, bass species. Just about everything will eat them, and it works really good for finicky trout as well. So we're going to go ahead and start with our bare line here. We're going to go right to our hook first. That's the easiest and quickest thing to put on. This is just a size 3 mustad worm hook. Nice color gold. Color doesn't really matter too much. The shiny gold actually might kind of help entice a bite every now and again. So we're going to tie that on there with just a standard cinch knot. Normal fisherman's knot here, about 7 times around, whatever your lucky number is. Back through the eye of the line, knot the hook, wet that down and get her tight. Just like that. Cut that little tag off, and from here we're going to add our weight. And again, with these mealworm presentations, you're really kind of just adding the weight to allow yourself to cast far enough to get in front of the fish, whether they be far out or close in. So I'm going to give myself about a 1 to 2.5, 3 foot leader, and I'm going to take my split shots here and I'm going to crimp these down on my line. I like to use these size 6s. It's kind of the perfect size for keeping a low profile. The size 6 is good too because you can add 1, 2, 3, whatever you really need to, and you don't really add to your profile again at all as you go up in weight. I'm going to crimp those down halfway with my finger. I'm going to grab my pliers here and I'm going to save my teeth because we all need our teeth to eat these fish once we catch them. And it's not going to help if you're chipping them off trying to eat split shot all day long. So there we go. Don't crimp them too hard because we want to be able to adjust our depth and how far we're actually sinking down with the split shot as we fish throughout the day. There we go. So here we are right now. We got our hook that we're going to put the mealworm on. We're going all the way up to our split shot. We're going to add our bobber here now. So this is kind of the trickier part. It's really not too tricky once you figure it out. There it goes. Yeah, this is my life, everybody. But these bobbers aren't too tricky once you figure them out, and they allow you to adjust that bobber up and down your line easily to adjust your depth along with your split shot. So what we're going to do first, you see how this bobber has this little tag at the end and these little wires come out of the bottom end of it. That's going to hook onto your line, and then there's another one. You cover that one up with your thumb and you press down just on the side of this red tab and that other one comes up. So you're going to attach both of those to your line, and how you do that is going to allow you to slide up and down. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to push down the red tab. I'm going to make just 2 wraps around that bottom end, just like so. And I'm going to let that tab back up, and that sucks the line right into the bottom of my bobber. Holds it in place just perfectly. But to secure it the rest of the way, I'm going to grab the bottom end of this red side with my thumb, grab the edge of that red tab and push it down. You see how that actually pops up again. I'm going to take the top end of my line, white being up, and make another 1, 2 wraps around that wire, letting that go free, and there it is, holding it right in place. So if you want, you can do 1 wrap on each, and it allows you to slide that bobber up and down, or you can push the tab in, take a little spin a line off of there, and it allows it to slide back and forth to your depth. So there's our main setup for fishing these mealworms. We got our bobber on our main line, down to our split shot, right to our weight. So next, we take the mealworms themselves. These are also great to have on the river too, because they're on the lake, because you know, it makes for a good snack if you get hungry. Just kidding. So I'm gonna take the mealworms, keep my trash. Really the nice part about these too is you really only need 1. So a good package of these will last you quite a long time throughout fishing during the day, especially if they're working really good, you're gonna be getting bit a lot. So I'm gonna take these mealworms. You see the head is on this side, tail is on the other, kind of creepy little creatures. All right, and we're gonna take this and we're gonna put this hook straight through what would be the head of this mealworm. It doesn't really matter if you get it on there perfectly as long as it stays. So the inside of them is a little bit softer, so we can slide that right down the shank of the hook, right to the point about halfway down the body, and then we're gonna bring that hook point out of the shell and slide that thing right on top of those little barbs that these hooks have. And that's the beauty of these things, is you got that little barb to hold it on there. And there you have it, everybody. That's your perfectly rigged little mealworm. And again, these are probably the more naturally occurring baits that come on a lake or in a river. The fish are going to be eating a lot of these, and especially at certain times of the year, they're going to key in on these, and this is pretty much all you're going to catch them on. So keep some mealworms in your bag. They last a long time. They come in little jars. A lot of different people make them, but keep these mealworms in your bag. It's going to really up your catch rate, especially in those summer months when those trout can get hard to catch. So if you guys like what you saw here today, go ahead and comment below. I want to see how you guys like to fish your mealworms. If there's any other methods that you guys want to see or you guys want to talk about, get that conversation started. We'll answer any of your questions in the comment list below. Be sure to like this video and be sure to share it out there so everybody else can have fun out there on the lake. Be sure to subscribe to this page so you can see everything else we're going to show you guys coming up. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the lake.